Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to some more Apex. I hope you're having a very good day as always. In this video we're going to be taking a look at one of the best pro players, if not the best pro player in Apex right now. I'm going to be analyzing how they play and try to give you guys some tips on how to actually improve how you play, because one of the best ways to improve as a player in any video game is to watch how the pros play, because you learn some things you might not know, and obviously you still have to practice and play for yourself, like it doesn't happen overnight. But a very good way to improve your game is to just look at those who have already proven that they have really high skills. So we're going to be taking a look at Ace in this video, NRG Ace. Now I've been watching so much streams from Ace recently, and one thing that really stands out in his streams is that he has very good movement and he has very good situational awareness. Like, those two things make for a very good Apex player, because obviously Apex is very much about having good movement, but Apex is also about playing mind games and knowing when to rush, when to hold off, and just how to really play mind games with your enemy and confuse them. And I think that Ace does a very good job at doing both. So I'm going to give you guys some very simple tips that actually make a very big difference from Ace himself. So if you guys do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into this video.
Oh,
the people.
Oh
No.
why longbow?
I need a weapon.
Alright, we win these.
Body shield here. Level 2.
Wraith purple.
Reloading.
Behind.
20 HP.
Nice.
Big.
Alright, so in this first clip you guys will see that Ace just landed into a match and his teammate got downed, but instead of rushing immediately to go and try and help his teammate, he actually took his time, looted a bit, and then went to kill the enemies. So that's a very big tip, guys. When you're now landing into a game, it may sound very simple, but a lot of you guys might actually want to go and try and save your teammates immediately if they get downed. But sometimes the enemy might have better loot than you, and you actually have to ensure that you are in a good position to save your teammate, because if you have no shields and you only have like a P20 and you want to go and rush in and try and save your teammates, you might get killed as well. So although sometimes you really can't avoid like fighting, like you actually have to fight because of how close you landed with the enemy, sometimes it's best to take your time, loot first, and then go and rush and try to avenge your teammate. Chances are your teammate didn't even really collect that much loot, so if he dies and you have to revive him at the respawn beacon, it isn't a big thing because he already doesn't have that much loot. So yeah, that's one it's a very basic tip, but it's also very useful. You know, don't rush in immediately when you now land in, because as you guys just saw in this clip, Ace took his time, he got some more loot, and then he rushed in and killed the enemies. Now as I said, guys, sometimes you have no other choice but to fight, but in this case he had a choice and he made the right choice. So yeah, that's the first tip.
Oh my god, there's two people there. Oh, a gun! Multiple guns! Wait, I can't take damage here, I got a Q.
Others died there. Reloading. Enemy down. Killed an enemy. That's the last of that squad.
So in this next clip, it's really about decision making, and as I said, right, Apex is very much about gun skill and having great aim, but also Apex is about making quick decisions and being very aware. And in this clip right here, you can see, instead of actually killing the enemy, which he could have done, he could have gotten one kill with his gun, but Ace actually decided to go and get some shields before he continued the gunfight, because the enemy's back was turned against him, but he didn't want to risk taking any unnecessary damage, because maybe he would have won the gunfight, but the enemy's teammate was right there, and without any shield, he most likely could have died. So he made the right decision, he went to get some armor first, and then he came back and finished off the enemy. So it's a very quick decision he made, it's called quick thinking. And if you guys want to become like Ace, you want to be a very good pro player, then you actually have to learn to have some quick thinking skills and make decisions in the heat of the moment. So that's tip number 2.
What?
Path no armor.
Come.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Side on me. All dead.
Nice, nice, all that.
Open now.
Alright, so this next clip shows Ace in a bit of a sticky situation because he doesn't have a lot of health, he has enemies surrounding him, and he doesn't really have much time to put on shield. So what he does is he kills the downed enemy and he puts on their shield. Now it might sound very simple, it's called armor swapping, it's very simple to just armor swap. I guess he was about to put on some shields, but he actually killed him and got right back into the action. So shield swapping or armor swapping is very important in my opinion. I made a complete video on this as well. But in situations like this, when you barely have any health, you barely have any shield, the best thing to do is try to shield swap because it saves you so much time and you can really survive so much gunfights if you just know when to strategically shield swap. Like this is also situational awareness, like trying to find the nearest death box, but it's also mind games because the enemy might think that you have no shields and he might push you, but if you actually get in a shield swap or an armor swap, you can actually trick the enemy into thinking that you have very low health and turn around and kill them. So yeah, that's the next tip guys, as Ace just showed us. It's extremely important knowing when to shield swap.
Gold armor path.
Grappling.
Purple life. Oh, Kraber.
Kraber.
Ross is in that bitch.
Holy sh.
여기야?
이거
I climb up.
들어가면
I climb up.
얘잘 써. 오 씨. 더블 집 라인?
No, Daniel. I'm behind them. Race down. Pathfinder 1 HP.
나이스.
What?
Enemy taken out.
So my last tip when analyzing Ace is knowing how to avoid damage. If you guys have just seen the last clip, right, basically Ace tries to get some shots off with his PK, but after he shoots, right, after he actually shoots his PK shots, he also kind of turns away from the enemy and you might think he's going to run away, but it's actually because he's trying to avoid taking damage. If you guys just stay still in a gunfight, if you just stay still in a gunfight after you shoot your shots, you're actually giving the enemy an open target because you're staying stationary and they can easily get some headshots off on you because you're obviously not really moving too much. I mean, you might be strafing and stuff, but it's still pretty easy for a good player to really counteract strafing. So what Ace does a lot of times, especially when he's using the PK, is he shoots the enemy, and if he misses that shot, he might kind of like turn away from the enemy to avoid taking some damage. So learn from that guys, it's a very simple thing to do, and if you're on PC, most likely that'll be a lot easier to do as well because you actually have a mouse, but it's still a very good thing to practice doing on console as well because this will mess up the enemy shot and you might survive so much gunfights by just doing this. So yeah, try it out, it's a very good thing to practice, and that's my final tip guys. Thanks so much for watching this video guys, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in some more Apex videos. Till next time.